I will tell you about our experiences from archiving information from social media. And my name is Magdalena Sjödahl. I work as an archivist in Sweden at the company Arkiwera. And in 2017, I got a question from one of the biggest archival institutions in Sweden if we, as I was working at the company Arkiwera, could help them preserve Facebook posts, including reactions and comments. They had looked at different solutions themselves, but they hadn't found any that they felt met their requirements. They wanted a solution that worked and was stable while also being compliant with the terms of use for Facebook. As a consultant at the biggest consultancy firm in Sweden for archival projects and record management issues, I brought this question back to colleagues and management. And that question later became the starting point of what we today call Arkiwera. But before telling you about Arkiwera, I will give you a short introduction to the Swedish archival context. We are talking here about preserving public records held in different social media platforms. And in Sweden, we have a national archive stipulating the rules for the state agencies. However, the municipalities and regional agencies are their own archival institutions, so to say, with their own rules and regulations. That creates a situation where we have about 300 archival institutions in Sweden. Each one of them has different rules and views on how to preserve, for example, websites and social media posts. Of course, many of the rules and approaches are very similar, but not always. For example, most of the institutions forbid using the WARC WAC format when archiving websites. Mostly because the National Archive of Sweden doesn't accept the WAC format. Instead, the websites are preserved as HTML with attached files, such as images and videos packed in a zip file, a compressed file. The National Library of Sweden also preserves websites, but these are not accessible outside the library itself. It's in this context that we have developed the solution Arkiwera. When starting to develop a solution for archiving posts, including comments and reactions from different social media platforms, we wanted to make sure that the solution was compliant with different terms of use of the different social media platforms, but still easy to use and meeting as many of the wishes as possible that our customers expressed. We found that the way to do this was using the APIs provided by, for example, Facebook. So early in 2018, we had a solution in beta version that we were ready to try together with some of the organizations that had helped us with the requirements of the solution. Unfortunately, this was just a couple of weeks before the big Cambridge Analytica scandal that I'm sure that you remember. The scandal came with many positive effects in the sense of better protection of the information kept on Facebook. But it also meant that Facebook closed down many of its open APIs. So basically, our solution stopped working. When Facebook again started to present new ways to access the suddenly closed APIs, we applied for access to the ones that we needed for the solution to work again. We were granted access and could again continue to develop and test our archival system. In the process, we also included posts, reactions, and comments from Instagram, as you know, also owned by Meta. In 2020, we felt ready to start introducing the system to our customers. The feedback we got was overwhelmingly positive. Many organizations save their information from social media flows by making screenshots. This work is very time consuming, as you might know, and it's very hard to get it perfect, as well as stayed in a format that allows easy access and searchability. As we had a working solution for Facebook and Instagram, we soon added Twitter to the lineup. The integration of Twitter was easier than the others to implement, at least before the new ownership of Twitter. With Twitter, our greatest discussions have been about which information to retrieve from the platform and how to present it. The other platforms had, before at least introducing reels and stories, etc., a more linear way of presenting the posts. With Twitter, we have had many discussions on how to look at the archival responsibilities for retweets and discussion threads created by different tweeters. It has been important for us as archivists and developers within the archival sector to preserve information of historical interest without violating any private person's integrity. And this is not always an easy balance to make. In 2021, we also added YouTube to the list of social media platforms from whom you can archive information using Arkiwera. Last summer, we also looked at TikTok, and we now have a beta solution not put in production yet for the very popular but disputable Chinese platform. We have had meetings with LinkedIn officials about being granted access to their APIs for a similar archiving solution for the LinkedIn platform. The message we have gotten from these dialogues is that they support what we do, but have different policies than the other platforms for accessing their APIs. The legal issues and understanding what we can do and can't do has been one of the biggest obstacles in the developing process, I would say. Trying to contact the social media platforms haven't been easy. Meta is today annually reviewing our solution as everyone else using the APIs. This has made us very familiar with the rules and regulations from Meta. We are also always making sure to keep updated with any changes to the regulations and being prepared to meet any new requirements from the platforms. But of course, when Twitter gets a new, quite eccentric owner, we get a bit nervous about how that is going to affect the platform and our archival solution. The changes of the social medias have also been tricky to deal with, especially when different versions of, for example, Facebook can be used simultaneously by different users. We continually work to adapt our solution to new features on the platform. Other challenges that we have had to overcome is how to present and store the information collected from the platforms. which metadata should be added to the information in addition to the metadata that we get for free, so to say, from the platforms. Since different archival institutions have different requirements about how to store and present information, we have designed a standardized solution for an archival package with a compressed file containing the images, videos, etc., as well as an HTML file presenting the text and the post in a similar structure as at the platform. The HTML file presents all the posts included in your archival package. You can also look at different posts in Arkiwera using the search interface within the tool. Today, we don't convert any of the files that we retrieve from the different social media platforms. Most Swedish archival institutions accept the file formats that we get from the social media platforms. We also want to minimize the conversion and migrations done to the information. When archiving web pages, however, the work on conversion and migration to archival file formats is a big part of the work that we do for our customers. So, having talked about and telling you about the journey of developing Arkiwera, I would like to finish my presentation by showing you how the archiving process is done within the system. So today you need to manually start the process, but we are working on a solution where you can create a schedule for automatically catching your information, a solution that we have already implemented for web archiving. But I will show you how you can, here, for example, archive information from Instagram. The process is very similar for Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So, but here I want to archive our demo account from Instagram. To be able to archive information with Arkiwera, you need to have an account in Arkiwera, but you also have to have the credentials or being the administrator of the account that you want to archive on the social media platform, because you have to authenticate, connect your social media account to Arkiwera to be able to archive the information. So here, I choose an archive name, demo, for example. I can also choose which time frame, which time period I want to archive the information from. I can choose one day, I can choose the last year, or I can select to archive all of the feed, all the posts from when the account was created. I can also choose whether to not include the names of the sender of different comments. We never delete or remove any personal information within the posts or the comments. So this selection is only made on whether you want to include names of the ones that had made comments on your posts. When I've made these choices, I choose to authenticate with Facebook and Instagram. I connect my account with Arkiwera. And I can start the archiving process. The information, the posts are now retrieved from the social media platform. And as you see, it's quite a quick process. So I can now look at the information that I have archived. And it's presented in this HTML that I told you about in my presentation. Here we have the post, we have reactions, and we also have the comment. films, images, etc. is included in the archival copy. And for example, here we have an example with Twitter, which the process to collect information is very similar as for Instagram that I showed you. You can search for the information within Arkiwera, but you can also always download what you have archived and save it in your e-archive or other system that you want to save the information. An example with YouTube. So with this, I thank you very much for your attention and listening to my presentation about our experiences from archiving information from social media. Thank you very much.